So I want to talk about a listing for a moment. You guys are still TSX.V listed. Market cap's up there. I think it's around the 200 million threshold, roughly Canadian. What's your thoughts on potentially uplisting to TSX or the NYSE Amex? When do you think that's prudent? What are you guys planning on that front, Paul?
First of all, we're evaluating the opportunity to do that, to basically get on move to a major board. Probably we see the opportunity by moving to a U.S. major trading platform because, it gives us that ability to reach that shareholder base, which is much larger. So we're evaluating those. We hope to have something, moving that direction, hopefully this calendar year, but it's really going to depend on where the equity stands, what we have to do to qualify. There's a benchmarks you have to meet to get onto those exchanges, and it's not something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of work. And so whether it's TSX or NYSE or even NASDAQ, it's going to take some effort to make those moves, but it's definitely, we see that as our next step. That's our next graduation point, so to speak. We definitely have that built into our plans. I just don't have any sense of time. Nothing I can do on a sense of timing right now, but it's definitely something we've been working on internally to get to that point where we can make that decision. Hopefully we'll be able to do something with respect to this, if we're successful in some of these M&A work and everything, to make that happen as a mechanism to get there. But obviously we're going to continue to pursue with our current plans, and that's one of the things we see down the road.
The sweet spot to me seems to be in watching this sector a lot and studying a lot of these companies, not necessarily in the uranium space, over in the other sectors as well within the natural resource business, is, the 500 million market cap area is kind of the entry level to me for the Amex listing on the New York Stock Exchange. I think that level is roughly where you want to be, obviously in an earlier part of the cycle, of course. And so I think that is, to me, the area that you want to go. And then, if you're a domiciled company in Canada, the TSX makes sense to have that as well. So having that dual listing, I think that makes sense because we've seen a lot of rewarding coming out of the earlier stage. These companies like Energy Fuels, UEC, UR Energy, the liquidity that they have on these exchanges, certainly is helpful coming out of the gate here. But I like that. I'm glad you guys are looking at that. That is important as we go here. And to do it relatively earlier in the cycle, I think makes a lot of sense rather than doing it towards the end.